Family, what's going on? It is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Can I get a roll tide inside the comment box? I appreciate y'all being here. Today is Wednesday. It is December 31st, the last day of this wonderful year, 2025. My goodness, definitely memorable, right? I can't believe we're at the end of this year and we're one day away from the Rose Bowl. Finally, tomorrow. It hasn't it felt like it's taken a long time after the Oklahoma game and after Alabama beat Oklahoma. It seemed like we got kind of suspended in this matrix of a long time. But here we are. Here we stand. And heart to heart, hand in hand, walking into the Rose Bowl. Pasadena, California is where it's about to go down. Yeah, post a rose inside the emoji comment box. And here we go. All right, I'm ready for it. And there's a lot to, prove in this particular game. I got some predictions lined up in this show. I'm going to talk about kind of the media day main hits as they kind of open up. But, it's that time, right? But it felt like it's a long time. And that's why I'm glad that the game is on Thursday, because I was like, man, we've spoken about this game every which way. We've talked about this. We've heard from this. In fact, you're going to hear one more time from Coach Kalen DeBoer and Kirk Cignetti. I have no idea what other questions they're going to answer today. Seriously. I mean, my goodness. It's just literally it is time to let these two teams go head to head. So I appreciate you. Thank you very much for joining me today on Bama Football on YouTube every single day live at 10 a.m. as major news happens. And, of course, we got the Wake Up Bama podcast that I put my heart, my soul into at 4 a.m. And I'm not going to lie. Like, I put so much into things. And, I wanted to make sure that is not only a constant, but that it's good. I would never put something out that was kind of just rushed. And you know how particular I am about things. So I appreciate all the feedback that you guys have given me, and we'll continue to produce that and have that part of Bama Football on YouTube. We're always evolving. We can't stand still. And I appreciate your guys' continued support. So thank you so much. And before I get going, I do have to say, happy birthday to my son out there, Caden. 17 years old today. 17 years old. Just amazing. If you're a parent out there, you know how fast it goes. So happy birthday, son. You know how much I love you, and I really appreciate, it's the biggest blessing in my life is being a parent, 100%. All right, so a couple media day quick hits, all right? You got Keelan Russell saying he's staying. And I thought it was kind of interesting hearing a lot of these interviews yesterday. Like, I heard Keelan Russell saying he's staying and Ryan Williams saying he's staying. And, like, this was, like, breaking news. Did anybody think that these guys were leaving? I'm serious. Like, I was like, wow, I'm actually shocked they were even asked that. And when, we posted the news out there, it was like, yeah, breaking news, they're staying. I think that kind of shows you how terrified people are of the transfer portal. Because and the interesting one, we'll talk about him in a minute, like with Ryan Williams, they're like, yeah, he's coming back, but do we like him? Do we still love him? Like it. So and yesterday I found it so interesting is that Kirk Cignetti during his press conference, I don't know if you caught this, I talked about this briefly on Wake Up Bama. He said after the Big Ten championship game, these 27 days, that they had to go through contract negotiations with their players. This is not college football anymore. This is pro football, okay? And the reason that these players are not going anywhere is because they've already re-signed contracts. They are getting paid more, right? The retention costs, right? And that's why you're not getting any big-time players from the transfer portal, because you've already invested into these players. Now, some of them might not have played yet, but that is where your money's going. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a bad thing. But is there a bad thing with development? So Keelan Russell saying he's staying, I was just surprised how everybody thought that was like breaking news. I was like, I bet my house that Keelan Russell's staying. But the house that Ryan Williams staying. Those guys are getting paid millions. The going rate for a quarterback is $5 million. $5 million, okay? So these guys are not cheap, and they're coming. Austin Mack's like, yo, I'm comfortable. Would you be comfortable if you were making $2 million a year? Duh. So Keelan Russell staying, great news. But I think behind all that is there's buy-in. And I think it also tells you that Alabama is far from broke. Okay, so these guys staying because they want to be a part of the program. They're getting fed and they're getting developed, and they're going against the best every single day. The other thing I thought was interesting is, like, they basically told you that Ty Simpson was leaving. Did you catch that? They were like, yeah, like Keelan Russell's like, yeah, it's between me and Austin Mack next year. These guys are not coming back, and these guys are not comfortable if Ty Simpson is coming back, period. So is there anybody out there inside the comment box that thinks that Ty Simpson is returning? He's not. He is 100%. He's going. And, you know, we come to the same point every single year. And they even asked Ty Simpson, they're like, do you have any thoughts about next year? And he's like, oh, I haven't even thought about that. So he hasn't thought about that. That's what you have to say. You're trained to say that. But he's going in the first round of the NFL draft. Yes, just like Chris from New Jersey said. So I found that interesting. And then with Austin Mack, he said he's comfortable, right? He's comfortable being a backup. He's eager to battle for the spot. I think probably 99% of you inside the comment box want Keelan Russell to start. Regardless of if he's even better than Austin Mack, you want Keelan Russell to start. That's how the world works. And I promise you, as we get going with Keelan Russell and once other quarterbacks come behind him, we'll want those guys to start too, right? When Trent Seaborn gets here, when, the number one prospect from 2027, when he commits, we'll want him to start. I've seen this for the last 10 years. I've never went into a season where the backup isn't better. See? Keelan Russell, number one. You want him number one, even if he wasn't better than Austin Mack. But in our minds, we already know that Keelan Russell's better, right? So I think, yeah, he is the best quarterback on the roster. But is he ready, like right now? Is he developed right now? We'll never know until he plays, right? And I think when he plays, or when Austin Mack plays, the offense will be completely different under a quarterback that truly fits this system. So found it was interesting listening to those two quarterbacks, Austin Mack being comfortable and going into the season with a lot of confidence. And same thing with Keelan Russell. Coach Kalen DeBoer, I love this, talked about unbreakable, right? That's kind of been the theme of this team. And as I kind of reflect back on this year, they've had to be unbreakable because there's so many doubters out there. And I'm starting to hear even more doubters as we get closer to kickoff. Man, those voices are getting louder. Am I right? A lot of people. Nick says this isn't pre-recorded. No. Every show at 10 a.m. is live. We do know the only one that is pre-recorded is Wake Up Bama at 4 a.m. But unbreakable. You look through this entire season, and you're like, man, look what these guys have gone through. Look at the type of adversity that they've gone through. I have never covered Alabama within such a span of 18 months where the team has been more doubted, right? Where, people don't believe in Alabama anymore, right? And this is kind of where we're at. So the unbreakable message certainly hits home, and I love that. And I love Coach Kalen DeBoer talking about that, and Ryan Williams was explaining that came up through the Leadership Council. They came up with unbreakable. Ryan Williams was talking about adversity, and they asked Ryan Williams about that. And Ryan Williams, he's very polarizing in the sense that people feel like we feel like we love Ryan Williams probably more than any other player. But it's so interesting how we've been dealing with that because he's been completely underperforming, right? And our hope is that our highest paid player on the team, and probably in college football, will have this incredible game out in California. And I'm hoping so. And you know that I have not sold on Ryan Williams, and I'm still hoping that this is a huge game. Now, if he doesn't have a big game, then you just go to the next year. But he's been on the struggle bus, and he talked about facing that adversity, and he's had to kind of battle through that. And that's good for him. I think adversity is good for everybody, to be honest. Adversity makes everybody better because if you haven't gone through adversity, right? What are you going to do when you are challenged with it? So that guy has gone through an overwhelming amount of adversity. And just like Ryan Paris says, I think this is everybody's thinking this. He's got to learn how to catch the ball. Yeah, you would think a player that's making, what, $5 to $10 million would be able to do that. But he's going through it. And it's like everyone's like, well, why don't we get Cam Coleman? Or why don't we get KC Conception last year? Because you already paid Ryan Williams. You already paid Jalen Mbakwe. You got to re-sign Lazier Brooks. You got to re-sign, or you had to sign Sedarian Morgan. Those guys are not coming here for less than X amount, period. That's why you're not getting them. It's because you already paid certain players, right? Remember Jalen Mbakwe went in the transfer portal for one day? You think he came out just because they went and gave him a hug? No, they restructured his contract, right? And Lazier Brooks, I mean, who should be getting paid more? How about that question? Who should have a bigger contract right now? Lazier Brooks or Ryan Williams? It's crazy I know. And you're like, I don't want to think about that. These guys are here because they want a degree from the capstone. Yeah, I'm sure they do. But at the end of the day, they want to get paid. Right? It's Sedarian Morgan, right? He's the best wide receiver on the team. Fernando Mendoza, he said, look, Alabama, what I learned from that Oklahoma game, he's like, I love that game. And he said that Alabama is hard to kill, right? I love that. I love that soundbite because they are. And he knows it. He knows they're hard to kill. And I love that. That's why I said Die Hard. Remember our Christmas story? Die Hard. That fits Alabama so well. This team is going to be a tough out tomorrow. They will. They're going to fight towards the end. This team is battle-tested. Besides Ryan Williams, the team has gone through adversity, right? I've never seen this amount of people doubt Alabama. Chris Fowler, who made a ton of money, ESPN, just covering Alabama football, he said that Indiana could run Alabama out the house. And I said on Wake Up Bama, I am so curious. Do you think that Coach Saban picks Indiana tomorrow? Coach Saban has never picked against it. That would be like me picking against Alabama. Do you think that Coach Saban picks against Alabama tomorrow? Yes or no? I don't know. I've been thinking about that. He said that people don't have the proper respect for Indiana. I was wondering what he does. But Fernando Mendoza, really good interview. Really good interview. I like the kid, right? He's so well polished, very articulate. Sounds like a great kid. Curt Cignetti, I don't know if you watch like the audio. Oh my God, the audio at the Rose Bowl. I would say if I had to go over all the audio for the Rose Bowl, I'd give it an F. Every single thing that I heard from the Rose Bowl was terrible. I had to spend so much. I spent an extra hour and a half last night cleaning up the audio for the podcast. The audio was terrible. God bless. And honestly, the audio is more important than the video. I know you're like, what? Yes. Let me ask you this. Have you ever turned on Netflix and the audio is terrible? Never. They have professional sound engineers that make sure it's perfect. Every interview yesterday was worse than the next. It was crazy. Curt Cignetti, I was listening to him, and man, he sounded annoyed. It sounded like I've seen Coach Saban like that as well, and I think he's just ready to play. Someone asked him, they're like, what do you think about the Bama mystique? And he was like, the players don't know about the Bama mystique. The players only know what they see on film. But I think he's just ready to play. He seemed really annoyed. 27 days, whatever it is, that's a long time, right? And then, man, I got the last, note right here. Auburn, transferable. Yo, do you see how many transfers out of Auburn? It is crazy. Like, I mean, by the way, this is a nice photo of Tim Keenan. Look at this. Look, I couldn't even fit Cam Coleman and Deuce Knight on this graphic, which, by the way, goes hard. So for Alabama right now, you got Bubba Hampton, Cam Howard, and Rock Montgomery, right? And the transfer portal opens up here in 2 days on January 2nd. But look at all these transfers over here. And I continue to say this. You imagine being an Alabama fan and, being an Auburn fan and just seeing your entire program being burnt down to the ground once again, right? With everybody completely leaving. I mean, this is a mass exodus. Every single quarterback left. Like I said, I couldn't even fit Deuce Knight on Cam Coleman on this, right? It's literally burning down. Every guy. And while we might not get Cam Coleman's, I would keep an eye on Malcolm Simmons. That would be an interesting name. Does anybody know who Malcolm Simmons played football with? Right? Right? This graphic goes hard. Goes hard in the paint, right? Auburn's literally burning down. Alex Golesh, man. I don't know what's going to happen. I would imagine they get Byron Brown from South Florida, which is crazy that he still has time to play. It felt like Byron Brown has been there for forever. Remember, you know what? He was the quarterback. Think about this. Byron Brown was the quarterback in 2023 when Alabama went and played South Florida in Tampa. Remember that game? Sorry, I have to keep checking my watch because every single second there's a transfer. We got our first super chat. Whoa, I appreciate it. Thank you, Lag Gaming. What's up, man? I think it was said Iowa State has 17 players currently on the roster next year thanks to the portal. Yeah, this is crazy. And it would be interesting just to see a full list of all the quarterbacks that have gone into the portal. Every quarterback. And what's happening now is we're starting to have more players hit the portal, then hit the portal again, hit the portal again. Coach Saban said that every single time that you hit the portal, your chances of graduating become less and less, but I don't know if that's even the main cause for going to college anymore if you're playing football. I think you're just going to get paid. This is your job, right? I mean, can you survive, a couple years on, $200,000, $300,000? For sure, yeah. But long term, no, especially if you want to buy groceries. You ever try to buy groceries lately for your family? Shoot, good luck to you, right? You want to try to have a steak. Go buy a steak for New Year's. Man, it's like gold. It's like eating gold. Oh, I like that. Jarvis says, Portal Combat. Yeah, so the portal opens up on the 2nd. Remember Mortal Kombat? God, that was a good game. Who was your character on Mortal Kombat? Hey, Michelle, thank you so much. I really appreciate the super chat. Hey, good karma to you for the new year. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Johnny Cage was solid. Raiden, Sub-Zero, Scorpion, right? Jax, right? Oh, Mortal Kombat was such a good game. My goodness. All right, so Auburn's on fire. All right, so we'll continue to see what happens over there. I don't know, but it's not good. And there's probably going to be, there's going to be guys that hit the portal from Alabama. I just don't expect it to be a mass exodus, right? Yeah, Sub-Zero was dope, right? The thing about Scorpion, it was once you learn that move where you could shoot, and then you bring him in and you hit him with the uppercut. Carnival Cruise guy says Cam Coleman's NIL deal was only 1.8. I thought it could be a lot more. Yeah, but I mean, how much money do you have, right? And I would imagine that Lazier Brooks has to get paid, something like that. Right? You got to pay Jalen Mbakwe. He already said he's coming back. That means he re-signed his contract. Yeah. Backpack A, uppercut. Yeah, I think that was it, 100%. Rose Bowl looks clean. We saw this graphic coming recently. It's going to be rainy. We've talked about that a couple times. And, the rain will certainly play a huge factor in this game. You know what? North Alabama Storm Chase. I was running through, and I don't think I got your graphics in today, so I'll add them tomorrow. He has a really cool graphic that he sent over that has like all the doubters. I'll get it in tomorrow for our morning show on the 1st, North Alabama. I appreciate your grace on that, bro. I'm doing like a million things, bro. I even put on a blazer today, and I was working out at 5 in the morning, so it never stops. All right, so thank you so much for your grace. I saw this yesterday. I saw you see Tennessee lose? So my dad called me, and he's like, yo, did you see Tennessee lose? And I was like, to be honest, I didn't even know they were playing. So the Big Ten is 6-0 in bowl games, right? Big 12's 2-0, and you can see the rest of the results. But the bowl games have nothing to do with who these teams were during the season. College football completely ruined the bowl season. None of these bowls matter at all. It's completely different teams. These records mean nothing to me at all. I don't care about any other bowl game if it's not associated with the playoffs, right? Do you? I think kind of there's an older crowd that still kind of likes the bowl games, but it's meaningless. They're literally meaningless. And I think they need to figure out to kind of have like a version of the NIT, right? To be like these other 12 teams are playing and have them like make the NIT and add some value to it. Be like the winner gets the winning school gets $10 million. That'll be incentive for the teams to play, and you get to split it with your players. How about that? But other than that, nobody cares, right? Nobody cares about these bowl games. All right, let's do some AM shout-outs. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. Let's see who's on the show today. We got Ryan Harris. Thank you so much for being here. Jason, what's up, bro? Christian Hughes, Dano, Rocket Town, John Stacy, what's up, bro? Anderson, good to have you up in the house. We have Andy from Denver, Colorado. We got Quincy Morgan. What's up, bro? Long time no see, man. Ryan Paris. We have Army 3275. Hey, you know what? If I see you out there, I might call you out for some things that you've gone through this year or whatever. Army 3275, as we recap this year, this man beat cancer. All right, could we get a round of applause or like God is good inside the comment box for Army 3275? I know the usernames are all weird, but that's Army 3275, and we're so thankful that you're here and that you're healthy, bro. And thanks for being on the channel. And I know you've been in my corner, but most importantly, we're in your corner, bro. So if you ever need prayers again, whatever it is, just let us know. Jarvis, my boy, this has been the stats guy of the year for years running. Thank you so much. Chris, what's up, bro? Good to see you inside the comment box. Ryan Paris, what's up, bro? Thanks for kicking in with us right here on the comment box. We have Anna out in Atlanta, Georgia. We have Tyler. What's up, man? He's saying roll tide. We got NFL up in the business. We got Sean Wiley. We got Miss Blissful Love. We got a super chat earlier from Lag Gaming. Miss Erin Nicole threw us a super chat as well. Thank you as well, and we appreciate your support. Aaron Bell, what's up? I appreciate you. Says God is great, 1,000,000%. Ty will rise. Prayers up, 100%. Nick, what's up, dog? I appreciate you being here, man. I think you asked about an Instagram channel. I have TikTok. I have the Facebook channel. And then I have like a personal Instagram, but I put 99% of what I got into the YouTube channel. So, that's my, that's kind of my lane, and I don't try to drive in too many lanes. You ever try to serve a bunch of different masters? Oof, man, try one master is all you can do. Quincy, what's up, bro? I appreciate you. He says, I got the playoff solution. I've been working on it for years. I'm ready to take on the next level. Yeah, you need to link up with some of those college football experts for sure, 100%. And Aaron Bell, one more time from Chicago. That's what's up, man. Yeah, big Common fan here, right? And Trayvon, what's up? Good to see you coming to us from Decatur. What's up, man? And Egypt 1000, all right? Is saying, Kyle, good morning. The team sounds very locked in, 100%. Jamie, what's up? I appreciate you. Mike, up in Choctaw, or down in Choctaw. Appreciate you growing those turnips for everybody, right? And John is saying, Kyle, I called you last week. If you don't remember, yeah, okay. I appreciate it, yeah. Get a lot of calls, and I appreciate all the community support right here on Bama Football on YouTube. If I didn't give you a shout-out, don't hold it against me. A lot of names running through. If you want to become a fan funder of the program, hit that join button. You can become a fan funder. There's different levels. You could also throw a super chat. I'm grateful for all of your consideration and all of your support. So thank you so much in thinking about that right here on Bama Football on YouTube. This is a blank slide that we will move past. Just kidding. And as you know, this video is powered by our friends at Sleeper. All right, so use the promo code, which is tailgate. Get a $100 deposit match up to $100 when you download the app. You just download the app, you get $20. You can make more or less picks. I'm going to tell you how to do that. It's really fun to do. We're going to do more or less coming up now. I love Sleeper, all right? And I'm not going to lie, I won my fantasy football team. I should have won them both, but I made some bad decisions. You ever done over analysis paralysis? That happened to me in one of my leagues. I'm so mad about it. I should have kept Tongass in, and I didn't. All right, and we have some prayers going out to Miss Anna as her mom is going through it. So we got you in our thoughts and prayers, Miss Anna. Appreciate you. You're definitely a real one inside the comment box. All right, sleeper predictions. Here we go. All right, appreciate it. Okay, let's look at the big board. I drew out this graphic today. So what I have is the player, the category, the yards that Sleeper has, right, on the Sleeper app, and then we have more or less, okay? So we're going to do this together. You all ready? All right, so I'm going to ask you line by line, okay? And you can do this on Sleeper. I know there's a lot of you out there that play Sleeper. So this is what we got. These are updated as of this morning. Ty Simpson, passing yards, 240. More or less, sound off inside the comment box. And the way to play this is type M for more and type L for less, right? You know what we need on this is like some music. Remember The Price is Right? Remember that game that the guy would be climbing up the mountain? What was that called? And he would be like climbing. You have to say like stop. What was that called? Oh, man, Price is Right. I grew up watching Bob Barker, right? You know what? Truth be told, I dated a girl. I swear. I dated a woman many, many years ago that she went on The Price is Right. I promise you. She went on The Price is Right and won each showcase. Both of them. Mountain climber, yeah. She won each of them because you have to be within like a certain amount. Remember? And the other thing is my mom and my family was, they were on Family Feud. They won 3 episodes. Remember that with Rice Aroni? Crazy. Yeah. So that's my game show stuff. All right. Okay. More. So I think more for Ty Simpson, clearly, right? I look, the weather, is this going to impact it? I think he's got to throw for more than 240, right? More than 240. So Fernando Mendoza, this was interesting. When I checked yesterday, it was like 225. It slid down a little bit to 218, more or less on Fernando Mendoza. This is an interesting one because it's been so challenging to pass against Alabama, right? I think they're number, 10 in the country in pass defense. We already looked at kind of the matchups head-to-head. Oh, man. 218, more or less. What you thinking, fam? Oh, man. Less for Mendoza? Oh, you know what's going to be crazy is if Ty Simpson outshines Mendoza tomorrow, which I think there's a good possibility that could happen. I know. You're like, what? I'm telling you, I kind of have a feeling, right? So, I don't know, more or less. That's a tough one for me. I might say more for Mendoza, but you guys are saying less. I don't know. I don't like to go against the undefeated very often. That's a tough one for me. I might come back to it. All right, Jam Miller, 31.5. 31. More or less for Jam with 31. Fam, are we getting more right here? And you also have Daniel Hill on the Sleeper app, and he was only featured to run for like 29 yards. So they're not expecting Alabama to run at all. So, Jam, you guys are saying less? 31. This is a tough one. I think I'm going to say more. Call me crazy, but I'm going to say more. So far I have Ty Simpson more than 240. Fernando Mendoza coming back to that. Jam Miller more than 31. I got more for him. I got 5 on it. All right, how about Ryan Williams? Is this the game, right? California love, right? Anybody? Ryan Williams knows how to party. You think Ryan Williams catches for more or less than 30 yards? Oh, my goodness. That seems like such an easy take for more, right? It sounds like Kalen DeBoer yesterday is trying to get him the football. I'll go with more. I'll go with more on my boy Hollywood. I can't be saying that I'm going to, not sell on him and not pick him for more. I'll go for more with Hollywood. All right. Jeremy Bernard. The Nard Dog. Does anybody know who the Nard Dog is? Any Office fans out there? God, Andy, right? Andy Bernard. What a crazy, funny character. All right, so Jeremy Bernard, 4.5 receptions. I'm going to say got to have more. More for Jeremy Bernard. All right. And Rico Scott. Will he score a touchdown? No, absolutely not. I don't even know if he'll play in this game. I hope he does. Shoot. And then Connor Talty. How about this one? Kick points. 5.5. Does Connor Talty have more than 5.5 points? Okay, let's say he kicks a field goal. Alabama scores twice? Hell yeah. Okay, we're taking more on Talty, right? Easy more. A33 says, Rico Scott, you're going to score a touchdown? Dang, dog. I love that. I love that confidence. I love Rico Scott. They just don't use him. He didn't even catch for 100 yards this year, did he? All right, so that's sleeper. Play it. But I think your locks are definitely your locks. I think your locks are Jeremy Bernard, Connor Talty. I feel good about Jam Miller, and I'll take over 240 for Ty. You can come up with parlays on Sleeper, so check it out. Download the app. It's fun to play. Available in 25 states. Terms and conditions to apply. All right, 5 keys to the game. Here are my 5 keys. Inside the comment box, which key to you is the most important? You could just type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? What is the most important key to the game? Came up this morning. Have pressure on the quarterback. Commit to the run game. Control the tempo. Have to have some big plays on offense. Avoid turnovers at all costs. Flawless on special teams. What y'all think? I think number 1 is have to pressure Fernando Mendoza. Yeah, I mean, this is like paramount. If you do not pressure this guy, you're going to be in trouble. And while I do have confidence in Alabama's secondary, I mean, you can't give him time. Their wide receivers are elite. It's going to be one hell of a battle back there. I think what you do is you pressure him and you let those guys go man coverage, and may the best man win on the outside. You might give up a play or two, a big play, but I think the risk is worth the reward. Okay? You got to 100% come after Diego. Number 2, certainly important, but it hasn't really been there for Bama. But if they can you imagine if the headline on Friday is that Alabama's run game comes from the dead? Alabama's a running team to start the new year. Can you imagine that? God, if they can run the ball, if Jam really is 100%, they'll be good for it. And I know you guys want Daniel Hill. Whoever it is, maybe you could run the ball. You have to have some big plays. Offense, defense. I mean, this is just that type of game, right? Who's going to step up? Which player? Dejon Lee, pick 6, right? Lazier Brooks, maybe a freshman. I don't know. You got to have some major plays in a game like this. A punt return for a touchdown? You imagine? avoid the turnovers. Game like this, it's simple, right? Simple football. Turnovers like this in a game will kill you. Yes, and Kevin Riley is back. And I think you got to be flawless on special teams. And what I mean by that is no missed kicks, no blunders. Like number 5, I think is so critical, specifically with the wet ball, right? You have a wet ball. Like that's what makes me nervous. So I think number 1, 0.5, and then 0.4. Like those are some areas that I certainly think you got to hit on, all right? So those are my 5 keys to the game. Okay, we're going to do something fun now, kind of some end-of-the-year superlatives. We'll fly through this real quick. I love some feedback. All right, so give me your best play of the entire season. I thought about this. Here are mine, okay? Do you all agree? Top 5 plays of the calendar year, right? 2025. Here they are. At number 5, should I start from the bottom and then work my way up? All right, number 5, 4th and 1 stop against Georgia on the Bama 8-yard line. Why Kirby Smart did not decide to kick a field goal, I'll always think about. Alabama came up with the big stuff. LT Overton and Deontay Lawson said, not today, and that game was a wrap. Number 4, 99-yard interception by Xavier Brown against Tennessee. Right? Tennessee trying to go into the end zone, gain some momentum before halftime. And my daughter went to this game, and I was like, baby, when did they start smoking cigars? And she was like, at halftime, right? That's how big that game, that interception was. Gigantic, right? Number 3, Ty Simpson to Isaiah Horton, a 6-yard touchdown pass against Auburn. Remember, the score was 20-20 at that point in time. It was a 4th and 6, and Ty Simpson was absolutely money, right? Ty Simpson threw 3 touchdowns in that game, all to Mr. Isaiah Horton, okay? All right, number 2, Ty Simpson to Lazier Brooks on that 30-yard touchdown pass against Oklahoma. I thought that play was critical because it was a deep, explosive play. It gave Alabama the lead in that game, right? Lazier Brooks, freshman, big-time touchdown right there. And then my number 1 play so far, the 50-yard interception by Xavier Brown against Oklahoma. That is the game. That is the play that tied the game 17-17, right? You guys like this list, right? Great picks. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. So those are my plays. Xavier Brown, I look for the corners to make a really big play on Thursday as well. Look, sometimes it's even creepy to me. Sometimes I predict things. I'm kind of predicting something happens with a corner. I'm kind of getting that spider tingly sense. I'm serious. If you guys watch the watch along, sometimes I'll call things out. It's weird. It even scares me. All right, so I'm kind of feeling that on Thursday. So you've been warned. All right, moving along. Top 5 wins of the year. Okay. Number 5. Alabama coming from behind to beat South Carolina. This is the first time outside of that Florida State game that this team found itself in some adversity, right? They were playing well, and then they were down 22-15. They had to rally back in the 4th quarter on the road in Columbia to win this game. I think it was a gritty win. I think it showed us the resiliency of this team, right? The back against the wall mentality, and that started to change. You lose this game right here, the season's off. That's how big that game was. Number 4, Alabama, 30. Number 14, Vanderbilt. What did they score? 14, right? I think they scored 14. I don't even have the score there. And why was this game important? That's the only game at Bryant-Denny. And I feel that Vanderbilt came in with a lot of momentum. This is a really good Vanderbilt team. There was kind of that revenge factor, right, that you had to come up with in this game. The defense made a hell of a stop Diego Pavia. That was a big win for momentum's sake. Number 3, I got Alabama beating Auburn. I mean, that was just a challenging game on the road. That was a do-or-die type game. Alabama loses that game. Is Kalen DeBoer even here? I swear, I promise you. You know that Lane Kiffin purposely pushed back his announcement because he wanted to see the results of that game. I'm going to stand on that forever. All right. Number 2, Alabama number 24, number 5, Georgia, 21 in Athens. Snapped Georgia's 33-game winning streak at home. Gigantic win. And then the biggest win so far, of course, Alabama 34, Oklahoma 24 in the first round of the college football playoffs. Is there any other win? I thought about the Tennessee win, but I don't know. I felt like that gritty win over South Carolina was enough to do it. Okay, top 5 doubters of 2025, all right? Number 5, new to the list. Oh, my goodness. You got Damian Harris, a former Alabama running back that has just been riding on Coach Kalen DeBoer. This team doesn't belong. This team isn't here. Colin Cowherd, biggest radio host in the entire country, right, from sports side. He don't believe in Alabama, right? He's out there in California, right? David Pollack, he don't believe in Alabama either. He's never believed in Alabama. Remember when he said that Alabama isn't Alabama anymore and Coach Saban's eye almost turned into the Terminator? Danny Cannell straight up hates Alabama as well. And then new to the list, this guy flew up from this guy wasn't even ranked. I didn't even know who this guy was. David Dennis Jr., first take yesterday. Did you hear what he said? He said whatever the spread is, right, double it because Indiana is going to do major work on the Crimson Tide. A couple more to go. Top 5 freshmen of the year, all right? Number 5, Caleb Edwards, tight end, 358 snaps. He's been very productive. I think his future is really bright. I didn't anticipate him being as good as he was. Honestly, this guy is an absolute monster, 1,000,000%. London Simmons, defensive lineman, 3-star. There's 2 3-stars on my list right here. London Simmons, this dude is a dog in the trenches. Number 3, Michael Carroll, 496 snaps. He starts at tackle for Bama. Freshmen don't play at Bama. That's false. Lazier Brooks, my goodness, what a season he's had. 356 snaps, 2 tutties in the first round of the playoff game. Most would argue right now that this is the best wide receiver on Alabama's football team. And then number 1, Mr. Mustard himself, Dejon Lee at the corner position. 500 in 57 snaps his freshman year. That is crazy. And those are your top 5 freshmen, all right? Let's see what else I got. You guys like this? I'm almost done. I'm trying to wrap up because we have we have Coach Kalen DeBoer and Kurt Signetti wrapping up. I think we got 2 more. All right, I'll wrap this up real quick. Comeback player of the year. We got LT Overton, dealing with the illness, back with his crew. And I got Jalen Hell. Jalen Hell, my goodness, we're happy that you are healthy. And I know that you probably didn't have the season that you thought you were going to have, but we're just glad to have you back. And you don't know what the future has in store for you, right? So comeback players of the year, I got 2 of them. The assistant coach of the year, I got Kane Womack by a landslide. This guy, my goodness, we weren't even sure if we wanted him, right? The year that he's had, oh my goodness, woo, holy cow, Kane Womack. And isn't it nice to have Kane Womack back for 2026? Whew. Most improved during the year, my boy Connor Talty. I know this is kind of a dangerous pick, but I'm trying to add like the positive. I'm trying to manifest this as we continue, right? Connor Talty, in the later part of the season, he's been good. I think he has a lot of momentum. And he's got fire, right? Okay, fan favorite, right? Jeremy Bernard. We love Jeremy Bernard. That guy, one thing that I really love about him, besides his on-the-field play, is off the field, how spiritually connected he is and how he's very open about his faith. And I think it's just a beautiful thing that a young man like that has been able to find himself through God. I think it's very inspirational. I hope there's other players that model that, and I love everything that he brings to the table. I met him before the season, and I could just, when you get like positive energy from somebody, that I got it. Bray Hubbard, just country boy from Mississippi. Man, this is like, the story with him is amazing, and he's just a hell of a player. And then, most likely to transfer, Just kidding. I ain't gonna touch that. But I will have transfer news as it happens. All right. It's a weird thing. I could, think about players that are going to be transferring. We could too. But the transfer portal starts on January 2nd. So let's just see what happens. Richard Young was asked if he's going to hit the transfer portal. He said, right now, my focus is on, the team right now, which is awesome to see. So players got to make their own choices. And lastly, okay, happy birthday to my son, Caden Henderson. He is 17 years old. This guy is an absolute beast in every sense of the word. He is a fine young man. He's always outside working on his truck, changes his own oil. This guy has perfect grades, perfect attendance, super humble, super strong, very kind, and beyond intelligent. And I am just so blessed to have two beautiful children that are healthy, that are happy, and that are absolutely thriving. This is really the light of my life is my kids. So happy birthday, Caden, as you turn 17 years old. All right. Okay, fam. So this episode a little bit shorter because we do have right now Coach Kalen DeBoer and Kurt Signetti up at the podium. So I encourage you to jump over there. That's why I'm jumping over. If, I see some things that need to be popped up or added in terms of, their sound bites. So far, it's just been like, hey, this is a good coach. This is a good coach, too. This is a good team. Kind of coach speak. I'll cut it over, and I'll bring it, of course, to tomorrow's podcast. But as news happens, I got you covered right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys. We have done an amazing job this year together building up the YouTube channel, and I feel that you guys are clearly, a huge part of it. So thank you so much for believing in me. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, a lot of late nights, a lot of energy, a lot of sacrifices, a lot of, risk taking. And I really appreciate you guys being here in my corner each and every day right here on Bama Football on YouTube. So have a beautiful rest of your day. I know the program is a little bit shorter today, but, there's things happening right now. So go out, listen to your press conferences. And if news happens, I got you covered right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Tomorrow is game day. Stay tuned for maybe a couple more videos to pop out right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Stay where your feet are at. Stay blessed. Happy birthday, Caden. I love you, and we will catch up with you soon right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Thank you very much for watching today's program, and see you next time right here on Bama Football